Hello again. As you know, we are continuing our series on an empowered witness at Highfield Church, and this week we looked at Acts chapter 4, verses 1 to 22, with Peter and John before the Sanhedrin. Directly before this passage, we see this moment where God heals a man through Peter and John, and he goes with them into the temple courts, and they preach the gospel. And at the beginning of Acts 4, we have the Sadducees, the priest of the temple, and the captain of the temple guard, who are not a fan of what Peter and John are preaching. So they arrest them and almost take them to trial. And it's interesting because when they're at trial, they don't actually ask them about what they were saying, which is why they're arrested. Instead, they ask, "How did you do this work? How was this man healed?" And Peter and John, they just drop the gospel. They tell them about Jesus. He died, he rose again, and through him we'll be saved. But the Sanhedrin, they go away and they think about this, and they're like, "What can we bring against these men?" And they realise that there's no charge they can bring against them because they have this man who has been healed. There's proof in the pudding. This guy's here. He's well, and they know that he was sick. So maybe there is some weight behind the words, but they don't want that message to spread. And so I think there's a few things we can learn about the example of Peter and John and the early apostles in this passage. First of all, throughout the book of Acts, we see how every great moment of conversion begins with a miraculous work, with the demonstration of a living and active God. Not one that's dead, not one that is gone, not one that is passive, but one that's alive. And through that, we see people saved. And so the challenge for us is, are we looking for opportunities to demonstrate the living active God in our day-to-day lives? Are we praying for healing? Are we praying for provision? Are we praying for supernatural reconciliation? The second thing I think we can learn is that when Peter and John are questioned about this miraculous work, they lead with the gospel. And so my question to you is, and to us is, are we ready to share the gospel? Are we ready to give account for our faith? Not just our small group leaders, not just church leaders, ourselves. And the third question I think is, if we are seeing God work in a big way in our communities, and if we're seeing people saved, are we ready for the persecution that will follow? Because throughout Acts we see when people are saved, when God is working, powers rise to meet that. All of the apostles gave their lives, bar one, for the cause. And so we have to have that same attitude. Are we ready and willing to give up things that are close to us, our houses, our jobs, our security, for the gospel and for the call that Jesus has made for us to make disciples of all nations?